Welcome to HowToBet.com, our How to Bet podcast. I am Daryl Sean. He is Sean the Genius Miller, Ivy Leaguer Sean the Genius Miller. And it is time for our Parlay Power Plays of the Week. Before we get to it, though, I want to remind everybody on YouTube to hit that subscribe button, absolutely free. Hit that subscribe button. We'll never ask you for money. The subscribe button, the like button, notification bell, go down and leave comments. Leave those comments. The comments have slowed down, Sean. Leave the comments. Good or bad, we can take it.
We're getting some on Twitter and Instagram and stuff.
You want merchandise? Ask
My
for
man
merchandise.
Rich Conti wants to get some swag.
Oh, we're getting swag. We're going to send him out swag. Rich Conti, send us your.
Yeah.
You tell us how to get it to you. We'll get it to you. Then further down, a little further down the description box, click those links. That's where you're going to get the previews, Sean's previews, injury updates / COVID odds. They're changing all the time, and then exclusive offers to various sportsbooks around the country.
By the way, I have an idea. This isn't how to bet. This is now what to bet.
Yeah, what to bet. Smoke it out. You will
Can
not,
we have some flames coming out of here, like the
graphics tomorrow?
like Neo walking around in the Matrix Reloaded.
Drew, Kaylee, get those flames going. We are smoking hot. Nobody can be hotter than us. Yes, we did it again. We hit the Parlay Power Play of the Week last week, and now there's fewer games, so it's more difficult. But we don't care. We're like.
Yeah.
Superman.
You know what the thing is, too? I mean, you think about it now. No matter what happens from here on, because there's only 4, 6, 7 games left, we're up for the season. If you followed us, you're way up for the season, and you
80,
can't. Yeah,
seriously. If you hit 60, and I know we got to get to these before we get in trouble with the bosses, so we got to get to this Parlay Power Play. But if you followed us all year, if you hit 60, if you subscribe to these guys that ask you for money and all that stuff for their picks. If they hit 60%, you're doing well. If you hit 60%, you're doing well. You really are. You're going to win money.
A lot of money.
We're about 80% for the year. And again, you could go look. We never charge. We get paid for doing the show. Go back, look at all the shows. You can take a look for yourself if you really want to do research. It's all archived and see our picks. We're about 80%, no kidding. And last week we did it again. Our Parlay Power Plays of the Week hit. So let's get right to it. I guess it's too late to get right to it, but let's get to it, Sean. Our Parlay Power Plays of the Week for this round, this divisional round. You go first.
All right, well, so 4 games.
Yeah, so it's tougher, but like I said, we're not afraid.
Yeah, no, you know what? First game, I'm going to go with Tennessee over Cincinnati.
That is at 3.5.
It's going to probably, I'll bet it down to 3.
So the number one seed, Tennessee, who had the week off to getting Derrick Henry back, you like them minus 3.5 over Cincinnati?
Yeah, listen, I can't.
I feel like Cincinnati's that niche team now. Like everybody's riding their
I wrote in the stories, if you go on to howtobet.com, you can read all the stories. You got the odds. I think you can make a case that these are the 8 best teams in the NFL.
I think so, yeah.
The 49ers, I think, were the one team. But you know what? If you put the 49ers from the NFC West and the NFC East, they would have won like 15 games.
Yes.
Obviously, watching the 2 NFC least teams. Yeah. I think when you get Derrick Henry back. Listen, the first things first. One of these 2 teams is going to be in the AFC Championship game. If you would have known that before the season, if you would have said, one of these 2 teams, everybody would have thought it was going to be the Bills and the Chiefs again, and one of those 2 teams is going to be out in the divisional round, and one of either Tennessee or Cincinnati is going to be in the AFC Championship game. So I think you could have made a lot of money on that. You could have made a lot of money if you parlayed both of those teams to win the division. Derrick Henry comes back. He had 937 yards rushing in 8 games, well on his way to 2,000, probably breaking the rushing record.
Yeah.
He's back. They gave him an extra week off. They get, everybody's back healthy. Cincinnati, here's the big deal. Cincinnati got beat up against the Raiders on the defensive line, and they were already shorthanded. They have 3 guys that they lost. Now, they might play, but they're not 100%. Now you got to face Derrick Henry, who's healthy, and a line like this. I just don't see it.
Yeah, they're down at least. They're down for sure. At least one starting. They're
already down, and they already came into the playoffs down a defensive lineman or 2, and they lost 3. Went out in that game. They might play, they might not play. They're not 100%, and you can't go into this game beat up like this. Tennessee's not beat up. I'm just gonna roll with Tennessee. At home, I'm gonna take a chance, and I just think the Titans are better.
All right, so you'll take Tennessee minus the 3.5 over Cincinnati. time for your next pick in this Parlay Power Play of the Week.
Yeah, I'm going to go same thing, the Saturday game here. You look at the 49ers, obviously
They're on a roll.
Bosa and Warner are going to maybe play, not 100%, two huge key. 49 that wasn't even a game. 49ers were blowing out the Cowboys. The game was over. Those two guys go out, Cowboys get back in, and then Dak Prescott decides to go on a little wander, a little walkabout with no time left instead of sliding and to get to, I don't know what they're doing. So they're a little bit beat up, and the Packers aren't.
Let me just say this about McCarthy's getting hammered, and he should. I never thought he was any good, but listen.
It's not his.
Shanahan didn't do a great job either.
Yeah,
he really didn't. He let them back. The one, and I like Garoppolo, but you can always count on that one dopey pass, which he did. And then Shanahan did a terrible job, I thought, defensively during that Cowboy drive. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Look, I think, when you look back, the Packers, the offseason was a disaster, right?
Yes.
And the training camp was a disaster, and the first week it was a disaster, and the during the season, was he vaccinated? Was he not vaccinated? Was he this? It was a disaster for everybody but Aaron Rodgers. It was a circus for everybody but Aaron Rodgers, not for him. He's just like,
it's fun.
He's cool as a cucumber,
Always.
man. He's not going to get to this spot and lose this game. They've lost to the 49ers in the playoffs 3 times since they won the Super Bowl. It's a little bit dodgy here, but I just don't think the Packers are going to get to this spot, back to this spot with another chance to play for an NFC Championship game and lose this game. I'm going Packers.
Yeah, wind chill factor should be around 0 for this one. I think the temperature's gonna be like 10 degrees, and Packers. So Packers minus 4.5 over San Francisco, and finish your Parlay Power Play of the week.
By the way, if Tampa wins and they play that game in Green Bay, my guy Lance is taking us to that game.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Real cool.
I don't like the cold. I got to go Kansas City over Buffalo. I've been on Kansas City all year. I just think, when you watch, they both threw for 5 touchdowns last week, both quarterbacks. Mahomes, obviously is a superstar, threw for 400 yards. I just think it comes down to the defenses. I think Kansas City's defense is just a little bit better than Buffalo's, and it's at home. I know Buffalo beat Kansas City early in the season, 38-20, but that was a different Kansas City team. I just think Kansas City comes back here and wins this game. And, look, I've been on them to win the Super Bowl, so I'm not going to pick them to lose here.
All right, so your Parlay Power Play of the week is Tennessee minus 3.5 over Cincinnati, Green Bay minus 4.5 over San Francisco, and you're going to finish it with Kansas City minus 2.5 over Buffalo.
Yes.
My Parlay Power Play of the week is I have 2/3 agreeing with you 2/3 of the time. At Tennessee, I'm going to go Tennessee minus 3.5 over Cincinnati. I do think Henry will run the ball a lot in this one, and that is the formula for them to win. When you looked at Indianapolis all year, they had Jonathan Taylor. They didn't use him right. Sometimes they did, but a lot of times they didn't. Tennessee's not that way. Tannehill they'll mix in Tannehill with Henry, and they have talented receivers. Their defense should be nice and fresh, ready to go.
Unlike the
Bengals. So I like Tennessee minus the 3.5 over Cincinnati. I will also go with Green Bay minus 4.5 over San Francisco. San Francisco playing very well. This, to me, the line, this line has kind of bounced around already a bunch. I thought it was going to be higher, so I was a little surprised to begin with, which sometimes scares you if you look into it too much, but I'm not going to look into it any further. I'm going to go Green Bay minus the 4.5 over San Francisco. About 6 weeks ago, I bet Green Bay to win the Super Bowl, so I'm looking toward that.
It's up to about 5.5.
Yeah, it's bouncing around. And then I will go the other way on this one. It's interesting we both stayed away from Tampa, the Tampa Bay game, but I'm going to go Buffalo plus the 2.5 at Kansas City. Tough game. This should be a great game. I do think since Buffalo started trying to run the ball with Singletary, everybody said, Buffalo, they can't run the ball. I was like, well, they can if they try. Singletary's not great, but he's good enough to at least take some pressure off of Allen from running and giving him some more time to pass. And Singletary's doing a really good job. So I'm going to go with Buffalo. I think they're on a roll here.
Money line?
I'm going to take them on the money line, and I'll take the 2.5 as well. So my parlay power of the play of the week: Tennessee minus 3.5 over San Francisco, over Cincinnati rather. Green Bay minus 4.5 over San Francisco, and I'll take Buffalo plus 2.5 over Kansas City and Arrowhead, which should be a really good ball game. I just think Buffalo's
really good games.
Yeah, I think Buffalo's just got that thing going right now, I have and if I'm right and they go to play Tennessee, well, I have Tennessee at plus 2,000 to get to the Super Bowl against Green Bay. I have Green Bay beating Tennessee in the Super Bowl at plus 2,000. So I'm rooting that direction for money reasons. But I do like this Buffalo team, and I think they do finally have something going for real. So there are our parlay power plays of the week. Again, we hit it last week. Let's get it.
I hit about half the season. I think I hit. I think I hit about 8.
No, we've been unbelievable.
The parlays too. If you hit 3-team parlays, you are winning cash.
Cha-ching. I think the only game we lost last week, the whole week of Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, man. Arizona, who didn't come to play. And you know what?
Terrible.
I was on Arizona all week, and then I changed my mind. I said I'm going to go with the Rams because Arizona just I didn't trust Kingsbury. Hopkins I knew wasn't playing, so I'm like, I think I want to go to the Rams on the Rams side, but I don't trust Stafford. They're getting guys out of retirement playing the secondary.
Yeah.
And again, not a game that I wanted to bet at all. We do, we're giving you every game here. Of all the games we picked last week, that was the one we were least interested in actually betting.
Yeah.
So
that's what I said on By the Book
too.
Bets Monday. They were like, "How did you do this weekend?" I was like, "I was on fire. I hit every game." They're like, "Well, tell us how you." I'm like, "I don't know. They looked." The 5 games to me looked like easy pick. Like I just thought they were easy picks, and then I felt bad because she was like, "Man, I can't win," and I felt like I said like, "Oh, like."
Well, listen, tell her. Listen to you.
Yeah.
Listen,
Meg McDowell. Maybe she's on. Maybe she could be coming on soon.
Go to HowToBet.com if you want winners. That's all. Go to HowToBet.com. Go to this podcast, and you're going to get winners. Go to HowToBet.com. You on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like button, notification bell. We'll be back with our prime time bets of the week coming up. Best bets of the week coming up. HowToBet, HowToBet.com.